credits of a video game are the last chance for the developer to flex their creative muscle. In this video, we'll honor 10 games that took this opportunity to have a little fun, surprise us, and grab hold of our heads and hearts one last time. But be careful, we're talking end game credits here. Spoilers definitely follow. Any endgame credits that tells me I can dragon kick my ass into the Milky Way is good in my books. God Hand is an action brawler comedy that was misunderstood at launch. Maybe it was the fact that it was the same studio that released Okami that sent people for a loop. God Hand was like your favorite B movie made into a game. Something a little bad that can be good too. The credits are a wildly silly and catchy song that is as insane as it is hilarious. The weird falsetto, the absurd lyrics, the awkward dance moves are the perfect way for us to start this list. For your entertainment, here it is in all its glory.
Dragon kick your ass into the Milky Way. Milky Way. Don't act like you don't like the Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur. My arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm.
Flower is a game with an empowering simplicity. It was designed less to be a traditional challenging or quote fun game, but rather one to arouse positive emotions in the player. The developers removed any mechanic or gameplay element that didn't provoke the desired response in the players. They were trying to create an effective work of art. In the game, you control an airborne flower petal that invigorates the environment as it flies over points of interest. You start each level as a single petal, but by the end, you're a beautiful flowing trail of flower petals. After the game's climax, you continue the game in the credits by soaring over the names of the development team, scattering the letters into the air. The sparse, airy piano takes you through one last time. Love Katamari is a puzzle game where you push around a Katamari, a magical, highly adhesive ball capable of grabbing onto anything smaller than itself. Once you successfully complete a level, the king will launch the Katamari into space to become a planet, if deemed acceptable. If the king doesn't approve of the Katamari, he'll punish the prince by scolding him and shooting him with lasers. Truly absurd, but truly fun. In Katamari Damacy, the first game's credits, they let you use the moon to roll over every country in the world. In We Love Katamari, the game lets you play as the Prince of all Cosmos, running away from his father as he finally got up and rolled a giant Katamari of his own. We even hear dialogue, placed by a clearly tired dev team, that we shouldn't expect another sequel. But as it turns out, that was just wishful thinking. Widely praised by critics and gamers alike, Devil May Cry 3 was considered a return to form for the series. It was a game that refined what a hack and slash could be. And with a game with this much style, this over-the-top action, and this fiendish difficulty, it's no wonder they chose to have fun with the end game too. After an emotional climax where our hero Dante finally succumbs to the emotional weight of his journey.
Are you crying?
It's only the rain.
Devil May Cry 3 returns to the hallmark, fast-paced combat of the series.
This is what I live for!
And has you fight your way through the credits. If you manage to kill 100 enemies, you'll unlock an extended ending that gives you some satisfying closure to this chapter.
Want to know the name? Devil May Cry.
Silent Hill 2 is still possibly the most disturbing game of all time. The incredible atmosphere, the set of unstable, unwieldy characters, and the unique story make this a horror game still revered by horror game developers to this day. So leave it to the team that created one of the most messed up worlds in horror games to create this bizarre secret ending. Beat the game 3 times on one save file. Find a secret key that only appears on one of those circumstances and use it to open a special room. Do that and you'll see our hero drop to his knees and see what's behind his reoccurring nightmare. It's a dog in a control room, literally making his life hell. Then this. Action RPG, hack and slash, shoot 'em up. NieR Automata is a game with a potent narrative and laser-precise mechanics. It's a game with an existential thread and often makes us question how we play games in the first place. With that being said, it's no wonder a game like this decided to play with how we can finish games. So after you finish 3 times with 3 different protagonists, the game will give you a bad ending. When the credits roll, a shooting game will begin where you fire at little circles which expel names of the dev team. A rare few might actually beat this impossibly hard minigame, but for the rest of us, after failing around 10 times, you'll start receiving messages from other players, and eventually they can actually help you. After you beat the minigame, the game will ask you whether you want to help others beat this final challenge. If you choose yes, you can leave a message like the ones you got earlier, and upload your save data to the internet, but have it be deleted from your machine. As far as the true ending goes, we won't spoil it, but it's a truly touching one, and one that you have fought for all credits long, a redemption from the bad ending.
すべての存在は滅びるようにデザインされている。
This was a triumph.
It certainly was. Portal, created by developer Valve, was a story about a psychopathic AI named GLaDOS, who used protagonist Chell as a lab rat to learn more about the series-defining portal gun. A game brimming with personality and wit. There's a tint of wrongness and some wonky thinking that comes with solving every puzzle. Oddly enough, these are exactly the elements necessary to create memorable end-game credits. In the end, Valve decided to have the vanquished GLaDOS sing us through the credits in an oddly catchy, creepy, and fun song about how she's still alive.
Not even angry. I'm being so sincere right now.
Just a note, Portal 2's ending had a gigantic turret opera and a sequel to the original song. Shadow of the Colossus is a game of great beauty and spectacle. Making our way to each Colossus and climbing the ancient, powerful beings feels remarkable in the 2005 original and in the PS4 remake. It's a game with a singular purpose and a certain emptiness that feels brave by today's commercial standards. Shadow of the Colossus is also a game driven by an incredible and heartbreaking story. Developer Team Ico used the endgame credits to add a bit of hope to what was a complicated and sad ending. Watching the princess and our faithful horse Agro slowly walk our reborn hero to be with nature, the optimistic score helps us believe that there may be room for redemption after all. Mad World is a hack and slash game for the Wii. It was a game with over-the-top violence in a comically light sort of way.
Ouch!
For reference, there was a mini-game called Man Darts, where players used baseball bats to hit enemies onto a gigantic dartboard to score points. You know, that kind of violence. To further develop the game's comedic tone, protagonists were ably voice acted by comedians Greg Proops and John DiMaggio, the former of the amazing Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Outtakes from the Hillbilly National Theater's Shakespeare Festival.
For the credits, they let the two actors loose in the spirit of the game itself. As the two drove past the credits, they took the time to make fun of all those involved.
How can you tell which one is the lead programmer? He's the one not getting laid more than the other programmers.
Bravo, team.
So many nerds, so little time.
The Ocarina of Time was a generation-defining game. Nintendo used the credits to create a love note to their first-of-its-kind open world. Scored by Koji Kondo, we are taken to key locations now rid of evil and perfectly tranquil. The friends we made along the way are all together, celebrating what's been accomplished. In the penultimate scene, Link places the Master Sword to rest, and their camera watches our trusty ally Navi fly away as the score swells and introduces bells for the first time. was a master class in catharsis and game direction, an unforgettable moment in gaming. There were many contenders for this list. Were there some that you loved for their creative use of credits or simply because of nostalgia? Let us know below.